This is Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. We're on the phone with Chris Cox. He's a Republican candidate for New York's 1st Congressional District, which covers eastern Long Island. The New York primary is September 14th. Cox is the grandson of former President Richard Nixon. Welcome to Newsmax, Chris.
Great to be on.
The three of you running for the Republican nomination are all in your 30s and all newcomers to the political scene. What distinguishes Chris Cox from Randy Altshuler and George Demos?
Well, I'll tell you what, I run a business and I've created jobs here in America. My business advises companies on how they can sell their products in the overseas markets, and that's helped create jobs here, and I think that's something that's really important. When I knock on doors in Suffolk County, I spend 2 hours a day knocking on doors, and I hear stories of people who are nervous about losing their jobs, who are nervous about their kids moving away because there aren't good job opportunities. So I think that ability to create jobs, the knowledge of having to balance a budget, the knowledge of having to meet a payroll, those are the sorts of things people are looking for, and I think that's what separates me from opponents.
One of your opponents claims that you live in New York City and have only been staying at your uncle's mansion in the Hamptons while you campaign. How do you respond to that?
My family's lived in Suffolk County for over 160 years, and Suffolk County is what has made me who I am. And, I learned to fish off Montauk Point in the 1980s, and I actually know the plight of the family farmer because when we first bought our home, it was a family farm. So I understand a lot of the problems facing voters in Suffolk County, and that's why I'd like them to take a look at our race. Also the other thing that's important is that my family really has both my grandparents are buried in Suffolk County, and my dad went to school there. So it's an area that I know very well.
New York's 1st District, which covers a huge area of Suffolk County, has been represented by Democrat Tim Bishop since 2003. What makes you confident the seat can be flipped this year, Chris?
I'll tell you why it can be flipped this year. There's so much anger at the direction the country is going in. We need to take our country back. And that's why I'm proud I've been supported by the Suffolk County 912 Project, the largest Tea Party group in the congressional district, as well as several other Tea Parties in the area. And that's the type of voter discontent that hasn't been around in previous elections. And the first town hall Tea Party rally against Tim Bishop, it was held in our district, and it had a great effect. It went nationwide. Almost 1 million people viewed a YouTube video of it. So this is sort of the heart of the town hall protest movement, and I think that's something Tim Bishop has to contend for. I think that's the reason he's going to be in big trouble this fall.
The district you want to represent was once very sparsely populated. It is no longer. As a member of Congress, what would you do to spur the creation of new jobs and economic growth for your constituents?
Absolutely. I need to be an ambassador for Suffolk County. I need to go out and not just vote in Congress, but also to bring businesses into the district that will relocate in the district and will grow jobs in the district. And one of the things I want to do is I think we should create a green technology alley. Much like Silicon Valley in California, we should do that right in the district and plug into our great teaching universities and our great workers to get these businesses to relocate and create the jobs for the next century.
The district contains some farming communities. There's concern that the Democrats' attempt to impose greenhouse gas emission limits like cap and trade will impact farmers particularly hard. Now, as a member of Congress, would you support cap and trade or would you oppose it, and why?
I would totally oppose cap and trade because it's a massive regressive tax on those who can least afford it, and you point out farmers, hurt them, it'll hurt just a lot of voters and citizens in the district, and I don't think that that's a good thing to be doing in the middle of a recession. And also something affecting the family farm is the death tax. I'm a supporter of repealing the death tax permanently so that it never comes back, to also help our family farms and small businesses.
New York State has a reputation of having very high taxes. Now, Obama wants Congress to let the Bush tax cut on top income earners expire. What do you say to that?
I think it is insane that we should be raising taxes in the middle of a recession, in the middle of an economic downturn. Everyone knows that that's wrong, and the idea that we should be raising taxes at a time when we need to be cutting taxes and growing jobs is not something that is appealing to people, and it's a failed economic policy. We need to cut taxes, reduce the deficit to grow jobs, and that's not what this administration is doing.
New York has proven to be a very blue state in recent election cycles. Do you see any signs of that changing, and if so, what are they?
It definitely is changing. We actually elected the first member of a Tea Party to the New York State Assembly in February in a special election, and we are picking up counties that used to be very blue, like Westchester. We are defeating incumbent county executives in those counties, Westchester, Nassau, places like that. So I think we're taking back the suburbs which is an indication that if we can win the suburbs, we'll win upstate, and we'll win elections for Republicans in New York State.
And finally, your grandfather, President Richard Nixon, is regarded as something of a foreign policy genius by historians for, among other things, opening up diplomatic relations with China. If he were president today, how do you think he'd deal with a nuclear weapons threat from Iran and North Korea?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He would be rolling over in his grave today if he saw how the Obama administration was conducting their foreign policy. We can't be turning our backs on countries like Israel and the United Kingdom, who have been our great allies for so long. And he would definitely take a stance where he would use a mixture of diplomacy and the military to solve the problem with Iran and a nuclear weapon being developed in Iran, because that's unacceptable to have a nuclearized Middle East. It's just that would not be good for peace and security in the world, and would certainly threaten our great ally Israel. We have to defend. It is our obligation to defend Israel.
New York Republican candidate for Congress, Chris Cox, thanks so much and good luck out there on the campaign trail.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.